They're expensive. Ready to go? Consistent with section 747A of the Local Government Act 1993 and current public health order, this meeting of Liverpool Shire Council is being live streamed to Council's website. A webcast of this meeting will be published to Council's website at lpsc.newsouthwales.gov.au so that it is available for viewing by members of the public. Before I go on to the acknowledgement of country and council prayer, I would like to ask the councillors to be upstanding to avail a previous Deputy Mayor and a long-standing councillor of the region, Harry Hubbard, who passed away. If we could just have a few moments silence, and then I will ask Councillor Lobbsy if he wishes to say a few words because he worked with the man. So if we could just have a few moments silence. Thank you, councillors. Councillor Lobbsy, if you wish to say a few words.
Yes, well, I did work with Harry Hubbard over a number of years. Firstly, I found out this morning from Tony Carter that Councillor Hubbard was a member of Tamarang Council from 1962 and then came on to Quirindi Shire Council in 1995. I'm sorry, until 1995. And in 1995 he left council and became part of PCCC, Peel Cunningham County Council Electricity. And that's where I had quite a few dealings with him over a number of years. And we did go to New Zealand together on a fact-finding tour, which was very beneficial. And I did get to know Harry quite well. He is a very fine Australian citizen.
Thanks, Councillor Lobbsy. I'd now like to ask Councillor Cuttermore to recite the acknowledgement of country and council prayer.
Acknowledgement of country. Today we gather on the land of the Camoroi Nation. We therefore need to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of this land. We also pay our respects to the Aboriginal elders, both past and present, and further extend that respect to other adults who have joined us today. Council prayer. Lord, we ask that you watch over this council, guide us in our deliberations and decisions for the betterment of all the people of our Shire and Australia.
Amen.
Apologies and applications for leave of absence by councillors. It's noted that Councillor Virginia Black has an apology. Also noted that Councillor Moles has come back to complete a quorum. So thanks, Councillor Moles. Confirmation of the minutes. 3.1, the minutes of the Audit and Risk and Improvement Committee meeting held on the 12th of February 2021. Recommendation that Council, 1, receive the minutes of the Audit, Risk and Improvement Committee meeting held on the 12th of February 2021 contained at Annexure A. 2, receive and note the Audit and Risk and Improvement Committee meeting plan 2021-2022 contained at Annexure B. Do I have a mover?
I'll move that recommendation, Mr. Mayor.
With Councillor Moles. A seconder?
I'll second the minutes. Yes. I do believe I was there, but I'm not noted in the attendance.
Seconded, Councillor Lobbsy. Does the mover wish to speak to the motion?
Mr Mayor, just to say, that there is a correction to be made in those minutes, and Mr Middleton has been made aware of that, and he's happy to make that correction. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thanks, councillor Miles. Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion?
No.
If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 4, disclosures of interest. Does any councillor wish to disclose an interest in the proceedings today? There's no disclosure of interest. Mayoral Minute 5.1, Mayoral Minute and Mayoral Activities for February 2021. The recommendation is that Council receive and note the Mayoral Minute, and I will move this report. Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll say it.
Councillor Cudmore. Anyone wishing to speak for or against that? If not, those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 6, inward correspondence and petitions. 6.1. The recommendation that Council receive and note the correspondence 1 and 2. I have a mover for that. Councillor Lobsey, seconder.
Yeah.
Councillor Cudmore. Do you wish to speak to it, Councillor Lobsey?
No, I don't. Thanks, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against it? If not, I'll put the motion. Sorry, Councillor Miles.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm just wondering about the correspondence too in regards to the library precinct, whether that had been responded to. Thank you. From Robin Wallace.
It's not been responded to yet, being redrafting as we speak.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 7, 7.1, resolutions register. Recommendation that Council receive and note the resolution register as at 9th of March 2021, appended at Annexure A. I have a mover for that. Councillor Miles, a seconder. Councillor Cudmore. Did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Miles?
No, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. 7.2, Executive Area Works Report. Recommendation that Council receive and note the Executive Area Works Report. I have a mover. Councillor Cudmore, seconder. Councillor Lobsey, did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Cudmore?
No, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 7.3, investments for February 2021. The recommendation that Council receive and note the statement of investments as at the 28th of February 2021. I have a mover.
So moved.
Move Councillor Miles, seconder. Councillor Cudmore. Did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Miles?
No, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion?
No, thank you.
If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 7.4, approval of councillor attendance at the LG NSW Destination and Visitor Economy Conference. Recommendation that Council, 1, receive the request from Councillor Hawkins and Councillor Lobsey to attend the LG NSW Destination and Visitor Economy Conference. 2, consistent with the payment of expenses and provision of facilities to Councillors' policy, approve the attendance of Councillor Hawkins and Councillor Lobsey at the LG NSW Destination and Visitor Economy Conference from the 26th of May to the 28th of May 2021. Do I have a mover?
I'll move it, Mr Mayor.
Move Councillor Mould, seconder. Seconder? Is that a yes, Ken? Yeah. Seconded Councillor Cudmore. Did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Mould?
Yes, thank you, Mr Mayor. I realise this is a difficult situation because both yourself and the council are sort of excluded really from voting on something you're going to benefit from. I think the only thing that was concerning here was whether we needed 3 people to go to it, especially with the costs. But look, I'm happy for it. I know it's I've been to one before, and it is quite beneficial, and I'm sure we'll get a report back on it. And I think we need to be seen to be out there with our tourism destinations. So I think that's the only concern that I probably needed to say was that we're a small council and we've got 3 people going. So I think that's why there's a little bit of reluctance about 3 people going. But I've moved it and I'm happy to move it. Thank you.
Thank you. I guess in terms of the organisation looking forward to the future, destination marketing have changed considerably with the impacts of COVID, and it's important for this organisation to be able to understand those impacts and opportunities, particularly with the internal opportunities in the state. So all the money, and it's in the billions, that used to be expended on trips overseas is now being turned internally. So particularly, I guess, being able to better link and understand the reasons why council has a role in tourism and how that must link to economic benefits for the Shire much more clearly, that it's a business, and how we can facilitate the best outcomes for the Shire in terms of dollar spent for dollar invested. So it's a really good opportunity for us to be able to gain a whole lot of knowledge in a short period of time and actually capture the learnings of other shires and implement them as quickly as we possibly can in this Shire. So in line with what we're doing in the organisational restructure is aligning very closely economics and tourism and trying to harness those opportunities and those people that can assist us with that as well. So I think it's a brilliant opportunity to capture a lot of information in a short period of time and then action what we've learned.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Could I just say that I have been involved, I was involved in inland tourism for many years, and particularly the judging of inland tourism. I was the chairman of the judges for a number of years, and I just wanted to renew that interest.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? There's only 2 good, no? Oh, okay. Okay, well, I'll vote. I'll declare that carried. Item 7.5, endorsement of draft Crown Lands Plan of Management and acknowledgement of native title, manager advice. The recommendation reads that Council 1 receive the draft plan of management appended at Annexure A and confirm that it has considered the native title manager advice appended at Annexure B in relation to the draft plan of management. 2, request approval from the Minister administering Crown Lands Management Act 2016 to approve the draft plan of management for the following reserves. A, 35868 Wallabadar Recreational Ground. B, 59034 Currabubula Hall. C, 72708 Corindi Showground / Racecourse. D 82332 Corindi Golf Club. E 82865 First Fleet Park. F 87207 Henry Street Ovals. G 88516 Campbell Street RSL Park and Cycleway. H 88668 Warra Creek Hall and Recreation Reserve. I 97242 Spring Ridge Entry Road and Forest Land. J 97714 Corindi Cemetery. K 1018808 Corindi Cemetery. L no reserve number Walladar Hall. Upon approval from the Minister of Registering the Crown Land Management Act 2016, amend the draft plan of management if required and place it on public exhibition pursuant to section 38 of the Local Government Act 1993. Do I have a mover? Moved Councillor Moles, seconded Councillor Lodsey. Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 7.6, Engineering Directorate Works Report, March 2021. Recommendation that Council receive and note the Engineering Directorate Works Report for March 2021. Do I have a mover? Move Councillor Lodsey, Councillor Miles, second. Anyone wishing to speak? Did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Miles?
Just to say that it's great to get a very comprehensive report from the engineer, the director, on the things that are happening in our council.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against? Councillor Miles.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm hoping this isn't going to be taken as a question without notice. Just in the report, there's a description of damage to a plant, what do they call it, an RO unit, and there's a insurance claim being made on it. I'm just wondering what we're doing to prevent the same thing happening again. Thank you, Mr Mayor. Page 325.
Thank you, Councillor Moles. Further to John Mender, so that particular plant was a standalone item plant that was out at the Corindi Airfield. So it is very unique circumstances, so it doesn't actually pose any further threats to other items of water equipment that we have within the Shire.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, through you. Yeah, I think what I'm saying is whatever caused it to burn out, what are we doing to prevent that from happening again? Or was it an arson attack on it?
So no, it wasn't an arson attack, and it's not something that's critical to our water delivery, so we are unlikely to be replacing it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Mr Mayor. That's not what I understood. Yeah.
Mayor,
Right.
you finished?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, thanks.
Talk about it later. I've just got one little query just about the extensive Longfell over number 2. I think we just need to be aware of who we're talking to in the deliberations of whether we change it from athletics or. I know Nathan's talked to me about it before, but we just need to be aware of, before we actually go down one path, that we make sure everyone in the community is happy with where we're going. The rec strategy is only a guide to where we want to go as far as I know. It was a moving document, that's why we passed it months ago. So we'd actually look for funding and all the rest of it. I think we've just got to be careful where we go, whether we try and change too much. We need to get people around the table again to work out before we actually say, right, yeah, that's where it's going to go, before we actually make any decision. And the rest of it seems pretty good. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Councillor Cudmore. Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 7 sorry.
I'm just trying to die.
Item 7.7, water supply status report. The recommendation that council receive and note the water supply status report. Do I have a mover? Councillor Cudmore, seconder. Councillor Lobsey, did you wish to speak to it?
No, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 7.8, Liverpool Plains Shire Council Local Traffic Committee, February electronic meeting. Recommendation that Council 1 approves the installation of all regulatory devices as part of the upgrade to the T intersection of the Werris Street Road MR 130 and Boral Quarry in Currabubula as per the design plan number SY 19279-C201 attached, and 2 approves the installation of the following regulatory line marking on Callaghan's Lane in Corinda: 1200 metres double barrier line, 160 metres single barrier line, 880 metres of broken centre line, and 4,440 metres of edge line. Do I have a mover? Councillor Cudmore? I thought you would. Seconder, Councillor Moles. Did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Cudmore?
I'm sure we'll argue it now.
If not, if no one else wants to speak for or against the motion, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 7.9, construction of a shed with skillion roof, 10 metres by 14.65 metres, 28 Church Street, Corinda, New South Wales 23433. The recommendation reads that council grant consent subject to conditions as detailed in Schedule 1, Conditions of Development, Consent DA 11/2021, Development Application 11/2021, be determined pursuant to Section 4.16 of the Environmental Planning and Assessment Act 1979. I have a mover. Councillor Lobsey. Seconder, Councillor Cudmore.
Yeah.
Did you wish to speak to it, Councillor
No,
Lobsey?
to speak to it, thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak for or against it? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Item 8, delegates report, which is nil. Item 9, notices of motion, questions with notice. 9.1, response to question with notice, Merriwell Road. Recommendation read that council receive and note the response to the question regarding Merriwell Road put by Councillor Paul Moles at the ordinary meeting held on the 24th of February 2021. I have a mover. Councillor Moles, seconder. Councillor Cudmore, did you wish to speak to it, Councillor Moles?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just to say thank you very much for responding to the question. And I have shot an email off just asking for some further information. It does not need to be a question with notice, without notice, and there is no hurry for the information. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thanks, Councillor Moles. Did anyone else wish to speak for or against the motion? If not, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Those against? Carried. Before we go to, I've missed one, 7.4, I have to apologise.
No,
Don't have to do it.
we've already done it.
Okay. No, I didn't do this one.
7.4, that was a news sheet for that one, that was in the papers.
So,
Oh, so that's covered.
No, you did do that, Mr Mayor.
so,
Okay, all go, thank you. Item 10, confidential matters. Recommendation that council considers the confidential report listed below in a meeting closed to the public. Yeah, in accordance, yeah, well, I just got to read that. Yeah. In accordance with section 10A.2 of the Local Government Act 1993.
I'll move we go into confidential.
Yeah, I just got to finish that before. we go.
All right, sorry, Mr Mayor.
Management letter of final phase of the audit of the year ended 30th of June. 10.1, this matter is considered to be confidential under section 10A.2 of the Local Government Act, and the council is satisfied that discussion of this matter in an open meeting would, on balance, be contrary to the public interest as it deals with details of systems or arrangements that have been implemented to protect council laws and staff and council property. I have a mover to move into confidential. Councillor Mould, seconded, Councillor Robson. I'll put the motion, those in favour, those against, carried.